Now, when we look into your career in the military, it's characterized with many coups. How did you handle it? How were you dragged into some of this? How did it all happen? You seem to be quite lucky in all this because not many military men could live to tell the story.
Well, I think it's more providence. It's not my cleverness or my boldness or my exploit. No. For instance, the first coup, I was my best friend in the army was Olusegun. When I left for the staff college in India, we were living in the same house. It's a house, married quarter converted to single officers quarter because the married and the single officers in the mess were not sufficient. So he and I were sharing, only two of us as officers were sharing the same house. And when I came back, according to himself, I came back 24 hours before the coup. So, and in fact, when I landed in Kaduna, I called him and said, nobody came to meet me from my unit. So will you come and pick me up? And he came to pick me up. And he always said to me, oh, do you want to go around? I leave my car for you. I said, well, my car is still jacked up. So thank you for leaving your car for me. So the following day, that was the final rehearsal of the coup itself. I came back on the 13th of January in the afternoon. They went for the final, and then when he came back on the morning of the 14th, he said to me, oh, we were doing an exercise last night. I said, oh, yes, what happened? Oh, I said, is it exercise by your unit? Oh, he said by a number of units in Kaduna, including my own engineer unit. And he said to me, your boys didn't perform to expectation. I said, well, you know, some of us, the officers, I have been out of that unit on course in India for well into 9 months. Michael Kuchime, who should have been around, was also not around. So now that I've come back, we will shape up the unit. So the following day, it was a different story.
Now, putting into perspective the reason for this coup, we need to set the narrative straight, because some people feel that there were ideological reasons behind this coup, and while some have argued that it's a maniacal ambition of some young and ambitious military officers to just taste power.
I will say that Nzogu definitely did not go into the coup because he was power hungry. He was motivated by Nigerian interest. Of course, as a young officer, maybe youthful exuberance, but definitely not.
When you look at the situation of the country now, today and then, would you say some of the reasons for the coup are still replaying itself now? When we look at the state of the economy, we also look at the intrusion of tribal, ethnic sentiments in today's nationhood. How would you relate?
No, I think I believe that is where describing them as naive comes in strongly that by taking gun and killing some politicians does not remove ethnic sentiment or religious sentiment. In fact, in some cases, it may heighten it. We short-circuited democracy. I believe in a pluralistic society like ours, there's no alternative to democracy. It's not a perfect system of government, form of government, but it allows for debate, discussion, give and take, seeing other people's point of view, and then it makes room for different groups, diversity. The only thing that gives every diverse group within a large component anything to feel, oh yes, there's hope, is democracy.
I think at this point it's important we review the lessons we can learn from the Civil War, because some nationalists have said that they regret the coming together of Nigeria. Some are saying that it's a conglomeration of strange bedfellows. From your own perspective, you played a prominent position, a prominent role during the Civil War. You saw all that happened. You knew the reasons why Nigeria went into the Civil War. Would you toe that line, or would you toe a different perspective altogether?
Well, the line that I will toe, and the line that I have always toed, and the one line that I will toe until I die, and that I will also defend, is that there's no country in the world that is homogeneous. None. Now, if you say Nigeria is an artificial creation by Lord Lugard, so is any other country that you may want to talk about. Now, that is the first thing to accept. The next thing to accept is that for me, I am what I am as a Nigerian because Nigeria is. And also that if today we are working for a union government in Africa, now why should we then say, look, Nigeria is Nigeria today. There are many mistakes we have made, but in spite of those mistakes, we are still a country to reckon with.